how it was grown.
And traceability? It all starts with a map like this one. Every single farm is meticulously divided up into plots, and each of those plots gets its own unique code. This means any given durian can be traced back not just to the farm, but to the exact section, maybe even a specific row of trees where it grew.
This crazy detailed map is then paired with an equally detailed logbook, or Nhật ghi, as it's called in Vietnamese. Farmers write down everything, and I mean everything, from dyeing the sapling to the final sale. What this creates is a totally unbroken, provable chain of information from the seed all the way to the shelf. If anyone ever has a question about a piece of fruit, they can pull up its entire life story.
Okay, so you've got the perfect rule book. You've controlled for every single variable you can think of. You've documented everything. But then, what happens when you're faced with the one thing you have absolutely no control over, the weather?
And that question brings us to the second part of our story. We're shifting gears, moving from the disciplined rulebook of Vietnam over to a scientific study in Malaysia, where researchers use hard data to try and decode the secrets of the weather.
So at this particular durian plantation, researchers put in a high-tech weather station. Now, this wasn't about checking the evening news for the forecast. This was about collecting super precise, second-by-second data on the microclimate, the specific conditions happening right there in that orchard.
So what did they find? Well, the data started to reveal some really fascinating and sometimes kind of counterintuitive patterns that turned out to be the key to getting a huge harvest of durian.
Let's start with temperature. This chart here shows the harvest from 3 different seasons, and the trend is just crystal clear. As the average temperature goes up, even by less than a single degree, the amount of fruit you get goes down. A lot.
In fact, the study was able to pinpoint an ideal average temperature, and it's shockingly precise, 26.03 degrees Celsius. Any hotter, and the trees start to get stressed out and produce less fruit. It just goes to show you how incredibly sensitive this plant really is.
Next up, humidity. Now you'd think for a tropical fruit, more humidity would be a good thing, right? Well, the data showed that higher humidity was actually linked to a lower harvest. The sweet spot was a slightly lower relative humidity, right around 87%. It's this incredibly delicate balance.
But here's the real shocker. When the researchers crunched all the numbers, they found absolutely no significant link between how much it rained and how much fruit the trees produced. Now, how is that even possible for a crop?
The answer, it turns out, is human intervention. See, the farm used a sprinkler system to give the trees a drink whenever it didn't rain. And this reveals the real takeaway.